You ever seen someone running in the rain? Not jogging, not casually stepping through puddles with an umbrella. I'm talking about running soaked to the bone, lashes of water slicing across their face, clothes clinging to them, breath sharp and ragged, and yet they keep going. No coat, no complaints, just focus, just fire, just movement. And the first thing you think is, why? Why would someone choose to run in the rain? Why not wait until it passes? Why not take shelter like everyone else? But here's the truth. Some people don't have the luxury of waiting for the storm to end. Some people don't run for fun. They run for survival. They run because the mission demands it. They run because their goals don't come with umbrellas and soft landings. They run because the fire inside them is hotter than the storm around them. And maybe, just maybe, you're one of them. Maybe you've been standing still, staring at the dark clouds above your life, waiting, hoping, telling yourself, I'll move when it's better. I'll start when things calm down. I'll try once the chaos settles. But what if it doesn't? What if this is the storm? What if this is the test? What if everything you want, everything you are is on the other side of you? Lacing up your shoes and running right now in the downpour. That's what we're talking about today. Not the easy days. Not the sunshine, not the applause or comfort. We're talking about the moments where most people freeze and you move. We're talking about running in the rain. The mindset, the discipline, the courage it takes to do what needs to be done when everything in you says wait. Because here's the brutal truth. Those who win in life aren't waiting for the skies to clear. They're already running. Now the only question is, are you? Shall we continue to point one from here? Most people are sitting around waiting for the moment that feels right, waiting for the approval, waiting for the fear to disappear, waiting for the clouds to part and the sun to come out before they finally take that step. But let me tell you something. Life doesn't wait for sunshine, and the people who keep waiting for it, they're going to miss everything. There's this illusion that we've been sold that in order to start something meaningful, everything has to be lined up perfectly. Your mind has to be clear. The timing has to be perfect. You need support. You need resources. You need motivation. You need energy. You need peace. But what happens when none of that comes? Do you just give up? Do you press pause on your dreams, your purpose, your growth? Let me tell you what life actually gives you. Distractions, delays, disruptions, disappointment, and if you're lucky, maybe a few windows of clarity in between. But you don't build anything waiting on a clear window. You build by moving forward, even when your hands are trembling, even when your heart's heavy, even when the sky is dark and thunder is rolling in. That's where the real transformation begins. Not in the easy, polished moments, but in the chaos. When it starts raining, most people run for cover. They huddle under awnings. They check the forecast. They cancel the day. They think, I'll try again tomorrow. But you don't have that kind of time. If your goals matter, if your life matters, you don't get to delay it every time the skies turn gray. You were born with purpose. You weren't made to sit in comfort. You weren't made to hide from the storm. The world around you might hesitate. They might say, let's wait this out. But you need to move. Because life doesn't give you time, it gives you moments. And if you don't grab them, they're gone. Think about the people who have made a difference in this world. The ones who built something meaningful, something lasting. Do you think they waited for sunshine? Do you think they started only when they were emotionally ready? No, they were hurting. They were doubted. They were scared, but they moved anyway. They didn't pray for easier days. They became stronger people. That's the real secret. It's not about waiting for perfect conditions. It's about building the kind of internal strength that moves regardless of conditions. It's about becoming someone who shows up rain or shine. Someone who understands that consistency is more powerful than inspiration. That progress is more important than perfection. Every time you choose to wait, you reinforce a dangerous pattern. The idea that your movement depends on comfort, that your growth is optional, that your mission is negotiable. But if something truly matters to you, then you don't ask the weather for permission. You run even when your vision is blurry, even when your socks are soaked, even when everything in you says, just stay where you are. You move Because the cost of standing still is far greater than the discomfort of running in the rain. Some people say, I'm not ready yet. Ready for what? For the pain, for the obstacles, for the pressure. Newsflash, no one's ever ready. Readiness isn't a feeling, it's a decision. It's not about waiting until the rain stops. It's about saying, I'm going anyway. You want the dream, but not the discomfort. You want the transformation, but not the trial. You want the destination, but not the downpour. But they come together. You can't have one without the other. The rain is part of the journey. It shapes you. It strengthens you. It tests how badly you want it. The people who win in life, they're not lucky. They're relentless. They show up soaked. They show up cold. They show up tired. But they show up while everyone else is waiting for better days. They're out there, creating them. And the irony, the more you run in the rain, the less it scares you. The less it slows you down. Eventually, you stop noticing the water on your skin, and you start noticing the fire in your heart. You stop caring how loud the storm is, because your inner voice is louder. That's the moment you become unstoppable. You don't rise to greatness when everything is easy. You rise when you prove to yourself, I can do this even now, even in this, especially in this, because here's the truth most people run from. The storm doesn't stop your destiny. Your hesitation does. So the next time life hands you bad timing, discomfort, noise, fear, or doubt, don't freeze. Don't sit down. Don't wait for the weather to improve. Lace up. Step out and start running. Because life won't wait for sunshine, and neither should you. When the rain starts falling, everything changes. The mood shifts. The energy drops. People retreat. You see it everywhere. Commuters rushing under canopies, kids pulled off playgrounds, events canceled. Rain makes people uncomfortable. It ruins plans. It soaks through the layers we thought would protect us. It exposes us. And that's exactly the point. Because rain, just like hardship, reveals who's built for it. It's easy to keep going when everything's dry, predictable, and smooth. When your shoes grip the ground, when the air is clear and nothing is in your way. That's when everyone's moving, everyone's showing up, everyone's posting, planning, smiling, pretending they've got it all together. But when the storm comes, when the skies turn dark and the pressure builds, something interesting happens. People scatter, they retreat to safety, they shrink. Ooh, but not everyone. Few keep going, a few don't flinch. When the drops hit their skin, a few lean forward, eyes narrowed, heart steady, and you start to see the difference. Not in looks, not in talent, but in resilience. Rain separates the casual from the committed. Hardship reveals what comfort can. It pulls back the layers of performance and image and shows you who's real, who's been training in silence, who's carrying something deeper than motivation, mission. Because when the pressure rises, the truth shows up. You can't fake strength when the ground's slipping beneath your feet. You can't pretend to be focused when distractions are screaming all around you. You can't lie about your discipline when everything in you wants to quit, but you keep moving anyway. The rain is a mirror. It shows you who you are. But even more than that, it shows everyone else. See, there's something powerful about watching someone move through adversity. It's not just inspiring, it's convicting. Because deep down, we know most people give up too easily. They break down when the conditions change. They panic. They point fingers. They stop trying. And when someone doesn't, when someone keeps their head up, keeps pushing, keeps delivering under pressure, that person earns respect, not because of their success, but because of their stability. And that's rare, because the truth is, most people haven't built the muscle to withstand discomfort. They're trained to pursue ease, convenience, validation. They've been told that struggle means something's wrong, that rain means turn around, that difficulty is a signal to quit. But for the people who are built different, rain is just weather. It doesn't stop them, it activates them. You have to understand something. You don't rise when it's easy. You rise when it's hard and you keep going anyway. Every drop of rain that hits you is asking one question. Are you serious about this? Are you here for applause or for impact? Are you only in it when the sun's out, or are you committed when no one's watching? When no one's clapping? When it's messy, cold, and lonely? The people who make it, the ones who leave a mark, have all run in the rain. And not once, repeatedly. They've learned to stay steady when things get wild. They've conditioned themselves to show up without excuses. They don't fear the storm because they expect it. They've trained for it, and that's what you need to ask yourself. Have you trained for it? Have you built yourself up to endure not just a moment of pain, but a season of it? Have you developed the kind of character that doesn't panic under pressure? The kind of mental fortitude that doesn't need everything to go your way in order to keep moving forward? Because here's what the rain will do. It will press every weak point, every soft spot, every excuse you've ever made. It will come down hard, not to destroy you, but to develop you. It's life's way of stripping away the noise and revealing your core. You're not competing with other people. You're not running against their pace or their path. You're running against your own quitting point. The voice in your head that says, this is too much. The impulse to stop. The desire to be safe. That's your real opponent. That's what the rain exposes. And if you can learn to stand in the storm without bowing, if you can learn to run soaked and smiling, if you can learn to move without needing the perfect environment, you'll have something most people never will: inner authority. Not confidence built on image, not strength built on praise, but authority that comes from experience, from pain, from survival, from doing the hard thing again and again, until the storm no longer scares you. That kind of person walks differently, talks differently, bleeds differently, because they don't need ideal conditions to be excellent. They are the condition. They bring the fire. They bring the clarity. They bring the discipline, no matter what's coming down around them. So the next time the rain starts to fall in your life, when the job fails, when the relationships strain, when the doubt creeps in and the road gets slippery, don't run for cover. Don't wait for the skies to clear. Don't start questioning your worth or your path. Instead, recognize the moment for what it is. A test, a reveal, a mirror, because the rain, it doesn't lie. It tells the truth about who's built for this. And if you've been doing the real work, the inner work, then you don't just survive the storm. You thrive in it. You run in it, because that's who you are. Grit isn't something you're born with. It's something you earn, something you carve out of pressure, pain, and persistence. And the only place it's truly forged is in the middle of a storm. You don't learn who you are in the calm. You learn in the chaos, when nothing is going your way, when the odds are stacked against you, when your back is against the wall. That's when grit begins to form. Not when it's easy, not when you're celebrated, not when everything feels right. Grit is born when you're knee-deep in difficulty and you make the decision to keep moving anyway. The storm doesn't care about your schedule, your comfort, or your excuses. It shows up uninvited, and when it does, you've got two choices: freeze and complain, or move and grow. That's it. The storm doesn't offer participation trophies. It offers training, relentless, uncomfortable, character-shaping training. And the people who run in the storm, who choose to lean into the wind rather than run from it, come out the other side unrecognizable, not because they're perfect, but because they're powerful. There's a kind of power that doesn't come from knowledge or titles. It comes from endurance, from going through things that should have broken you and refusing to break, from staring into the storm with your teeth clenched and your soul screaming, I'm still here. That power doesn't show up overnight. It's built slowly, brutally, honestly. And here's what most people don't want to admit. Grit is uncomfortable. You don't build it by reading about it. You build it by living through what most people avoid. You build it by showing up on the days you don't feel like it, on the days where nothing's going right, on the days where quitting would be easier and no one would blame you. But you don't quit. Not because it's fun, but because you made a promise to yourself. Because you know what's on the other side of this pain is worth far more than any shortcut. The storm strips you. It takes your ego, your excuses, your need for validation. It pulls you down to the raw, unfiltered version of you. And from that rawness, something real begins to rise. A version of you that doesn't fold under pressure. A version that doesn't need perfect conditions. A version that can't be intimidated by failure or fear. That's the version that grit builds. Grit is getting up when you failed. Again, it's walking back into the fight when you're bruised and doubting yourself. It's choosing discipline when distractions scream your name. It's silence in the face of chaos, calm in the middle of madness. That's not luck. That's not talent. That's forged in the storm. And what's wild is, the more storms you go through, the more you start to realize they weren't trying to destroy you. They were trying to teach you, to sharpen you, to prepare you for the weight of the life you say you want. Everyone wants to be strong until it's time to lift something heavy. Everyone wants to be great until they see the grind behind greatness. That grind, that's the storm. That's the 4 a.m. alarm clock. That's the hard conversations. That's the nights you cry in private, but keep showing up in public. That's grit. That's what champions are made of. Not spotlight moments, but the dark, dirty, disappointing chapters no one claps for. People think grit is just toughness. But it's more than that. Grit is emotional endurance. It's not just pushing your body, it's mastering your mind. It's the ability to keep your head in the game when your heart wants to give up. To control your emotions when everything feels like it's falling apart. To act out of principle, not pressure. And if you can build that, if you can learn to stand your ground in the middle of a personal storm, then there's not much this world can throw at you that you won't survive. Because storms don't scare people who've walked through fire. There's a different kind of confidence that comes from that. Not arrogance, not noise, but quiet certainty. You don't have to shout about who you are when you've built yourself in silence. You don't have to prove anything when you've paid the price in pain. That's grit. It doesn't ask for attention. It just keeps moving, keeps pushing, keeps growing. So if you're in a storm right now, if life feels overwhelming, if you feel like you're drowning, if you're exhausted from trying so hard and getting so little good, that means you're in the gym. That means you're in the place where strength is built. That means life sees something in you that you don't even see in yourself yet. It's training you, molding you, breaking you, only to rebuild you better. But here's the catch. You have to stay in it. You have to keep showing. You have to decide that no matter how long it rains, you're not going to sit this one out, because your grit, your growth, your breakthrough, it's all in the storm. Don't waste it. Don't back down. Dig in, stay steady, and run, because you're not just surviving this storm. You're building something in it that can't be taken away. You're building grit. When you decide to step into your purpose, when you choose to move differently, think independently, and live with discipline, people are going to question you. They won't understand your drive. They won't understand your silence. They won't understand why you keep going when everything around you says you should stop. And that's okay. Let them question. Let them wonder. Let them talk. Because what you're doing, it's not meant to be understood by people who've never walked in your shoes. People will say, why are you working so hard? Why don't you just relax? Why are you waking up that early? Why are you always training, always building, always pushing? They'll throw questions at you, not because they care, but because your consistency convicts them. Your discipline makes them uncomfortable. You choosing growth highlights their choice to remain the same. But here's the truth. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your evolution. You don't need to shrink yourself so others feel comfortable. You don't need to soften your hunger to blend in. You don't need to make your ambition digestible for people who've never had the courage to chase their own. Because people will always question what they don't understand. They'll label it session. They'll call it extreme. They'll say you've changed. And you know what? They're right. You have changed. That's the whole point. Growth requires change, and change makes people uncomfortable, especially the ones who are committed to staying the same. You need to be okay with being misunderstood. You need to get comfortable walking alone. You need to realize that people who have never stepped into the storm will never understand why you're running through it. They've never had to. They've never risked. They've never sacrificed. They've never built something with their bare hands and broken spirit. So when they see you doing it, it threatens them. Not because you're wrong, but because they know deep down they could have chosen more for themselves, but didn't. Let them talk. Let them call you intense. Let them say you're overdoing it. Let them doubt your vision, your voice, your value, because none of that changes your direction. Their confusion is not your burden. Their fear is not your anchor. Their noise is not your truth. And if you start trying to make everyone understand your path, you'll dilute it. You'll start editing yourself just to get a round of applause from people who don't even clap for themselves. You'll waste precious energy explaining your grind to people who were never meant to walk with you. You don't need the world to agree with you. You need to agree with yourself. You know why you get up early. You know why you stay focused. You know why you don't skip reps, cut corners, or fake effort. You know the cost of the life you're building. And if you've got a mission, a calling, a conviction, you don't slow down for people who don't get it. You don't wait for them to catch up. You run your race, head down, heart steady. Because those same people who questioned you, they'll be the first to say, I always believed in you. Once you succeed, they'll rewrite history. They'll forget the doubt, forget the side comments, forget the times they tried to talk you out of your purpose. But you won't forget. You'll remember exactly who stood by you and who laughed at you, who tried to support you and who tried to silence you. And when that day comes, your success won't be your loudest answer. Your peace will be. Because when you're really walking in alignment with who you are, when your actions match your values, when your life is built on integrity and grit, there's a calm that comes over you. You don't need to fight every critic. You don't need to argue every opinion. You don't need to post, prove, or perform. You just need to keep going. The people who question you now, most of them aren't against you. They're just afraid that if what you're doing is possible, then they've wasted time. Afraid that you might prove it's never been about conditions. It's always been about choice. So let them question, let them doubt, let them sit in the safety of their average while you step into the discomfort of growth. Because the truth is, most people don't want freedom. They want familiarity. They'll cling to the known even when it's killing them because the unknown terrifies them more. But you're not wired like that. You're not here to stay safe. You're here to expand, to rise, to break the cycle. So when they say you've changed, nod your head. You have. You've grown out of patterns that used to keep you stuck. You've outgrown relationships that weren't rooted in truth. You've elevated your standards, and when that happens, not everyone can come with you. Don't water down your vision to fit their comfort zone. Don't stop your journey to convince someone to believe in your direction. Don't beg for understanding in places where there's only judgment. Keep building, keep moving, keep becoming. And when the questions get louder, let them, because your purpose doesn't need their permission. Your future doesn't require their approval. And your path is yours. Keep walking it, rain or shine. When you make the decision to rise, to change, to go after something bigger than what others think is possible for you, people will question you. When you begin to move in silence, prioritize differently, guard your energy, protect your mind, and choose growth over comfort, they will start whispering. Or worse, talking out loud. Why are you acting different? What's gotten into you? You think you're better than us now. And the moment you hear it, you have to understand. This isn't about you. It's about them. People will question you because your discipline challenges their laziness. Your consistency confronts their excuses. Your vision makes them uncomfortable because it exposes the smallness of their thinking. They're not questioning your path because it's wrong. They're questioning it because it reminds them of the one they were too afraid to take. See, it's easy to be part of the crowd. It's easy to blend in, do what everyone else does, follow the same schedule, think the same thoughts, live the same life. Most people don't question you when you're average, because average is safe. Average doesn't make waves. Average doesn't wake up at 5 a.m. to train. It doesn't sacrifice, doesn't push, doesn't outwork. Average is predictable, and people like predictable. But when you stop being predictable and start becoming exceptional, you shake the comfort of those around you. And that's when the questions come. Why are you working so hard? Because I'm building something. Why don't you slow down? Because time doesn't wait. Why don't you just enjoy life more? I am enjoying it, just in a way that looks different than yours. You don't need to explain that to anyone. You don't owe them an apology for evolving. Growth is personal, it's private, and often it's lonely. That's part of the price you pay when you choose to rise. What most people will never tell you is that deep down, they wish they had the courage to do what you're doing. But instead of admitting that, they project their insecurities onto you. They disguise it as concern, sarcasm, jokes, or judgment. You're obsessed. You take things too seriously. You used to be more fun. But here's what they'll never understand. There's nothing fun about staying stuck. There's nothing fun about feeling empty. There's nothing fun about waking up every day knowing you were made for more, but doing nothing about it. So when they question you, let them. When they mock your effort, let them. When they doubt your vision, let them. Because your life doesn't belong to them. Your journey isn't up for public approval. And your mission doesn't need their permission. Let them talk while you work. Let them laugh while you grind. Let them assume while you focus. Because the truth is, most people only understand you in reverse. They'll criticize your process until they see the results. Then they'll want to know how you did it. They'll want to be associated with you. They'll say, I always knew you had it in you, but they didn't. You did. That's why you didn't stop. You see, people question what they've never done. They can't comprehend the late nights, early mornings, broken plans, lost friends, silent battles, and deep sacrifices. They only see the outcome, never the pain. So when you're questioned, don't get defensive. Get focused. Don't argue, act. Let your results do the explaining. Let your transformation tell the story. Let your growth speak loud enough to silence the noise. Because you're not here to be understood. You're here to become undeniable. Understand this. The path you're walking isn't meant for the majority. It's for the few who are willing to endure the misunderstanding, the distance, the whispers, the doubt. Most people stop chasing their dreams the moment someone raises an eyebrow, but not you. You've already decided that no one else's comfort is worth your potential. You're going to lose people. You're going to outgrow relationships. You're going to be talked about, but all of that is part of the process. Don't let it shake you. Don't water yourself down to make others feel safe. If your strength intimidates them, let it. If your vision offends their comfort, let it. Because the truth is, those who are supposed to walk with you, those who are aligned with your purpose, won't question your growth. They'll encourage it. They'll respect the work. They'll match the energy. And anyone who doesn't, let them go. You weren't born to please everyone. You weren't created to fit in. You weren't designed to stay silent. You're here to rise. You're here to build. You're here to change the game. So let them question you. Let them laugh. Let them watch. And while they're talking about what you're doing, keep doing it. Because the storm will pass. The dust will settle. And when the noise fades, one truth will remain. You didn't stop. You didn't shrink. You didn't wait for validation. You moved anyway. And that's what makes you different. So here's the truth. If you're waiting for the world to understand you before you take your next step, you'll be standing still forever. If you're waiting for applause, you'll never hear it loud enough. And if you need everyone to believe in you before you believe in yourself, you'll never build anything worth remembering. Let them question you. Let them doubt you. Let them talk. Because while they're busy watching, you're busy becoming. While they whisper, you work. While they judge, you grow. You don't owe explanations. You owe results. And if you stay focused, if you stay consistent, those results will speak louder than any opinion ever could. Don't fold. Don't flinch. Don't apologize. Walk your path with fire in your eyes and silence in your stride. Because the most powerful thing you can ever do is keep moving forward without needing anyone to understand why. You're not here to be liked. You're here to lead. You're not here to follow. You're here to fight. You're not here to fit in. You're here to stand out. So be bold, be relentless, be unshakable. And when they question you again, just smile, because by then, you'll already have become everything they said you couldn't